It's as if somebody were playing a trick on us. It's as if somebody were playing a trick on us.
So if you do understand what divination is and why the Bible flatly forbids it, you understand that it is because essentially it is a whole host of practices which involve contacting the demonic realm, fallen angelic realm. And of course, this is what all of occultism really is. But I've been thinking about this a lot lately as I've just been tumbling further and further down the rabbit hole of quantum mechanics and quantum physics and concepts like quantum entanglement, which is one of the aspects of quantum physics which a lot of New Agers and occultists and mystics do like to point to as evidence of science vindicating ancient esoteric beliefs and mystical beliefs, much to the chagrin of many of the materialistic physicists out there. But nevertheless, this tension continues to kind of mount, and more people are looking to quantum physics as this mode by which science and spirituality can be like reconciled. But there's that tension there within the scientific community, quote unquote. But the more you look into the origins of quantum physics, the development of this over the long term, going all the way back to Greece and India and ultimately to Babylon, understanding that atomism is indeed an occult teaching, it's an occult idea, it's a doctrine of demons, essentially. It's, from all that I can ascertain, just like evolution and many other teachings, somehow it is very intrinsic to the teachings of pantheism, pantheistic monism and mysticism, and is filtered down all the way through the millennia, and then taking hold again in the West during the Renaissance with the resurgence of alchemy and Kabbalah and Hermeticism, giving way to the scientific revolution, and then around the turn of the 20th century we have Albert Einstein and Niels Bohr and this explosion of knowledge, pardon the pun, in nuclear physics and atomic theory, relativity and all that. So if as a concept, this is a demonically seeded concept, this is essentially a repackaged occult worldview, a magical worldview that has been, made to look refined and polished and empirical, being guided all along. I just found it absolutely incredible to be listening to figures such as John Bell, from CERN, whose experiments have been one of the pivotal physics experiments pertaining to the whole quantum entanglement idea being supposedly proven, and actually hearing him say out of his own mouth, it's as if someone's playing a trick on us. And going back to divination and occultism, which obviously, if you understand occultism, it involves a great deal of experimentation, an experimenting kind of mindset. Obviously, to the mainstream scientists, they wouldn't consider that science. But if we stop and understand that to the occultist or the alchemist, they believe that they are interacting with cosmic forces, or interacting with their own subconscious, or interacting with the all-mind of the universe, or whatever. The important point of the deception is that the practitioner does not believe that he is just being fooled by demonic entities, right? Regardless of whatever he's doing, whether using tarot cards or a Ouija board or rune stones, sigil magic, casting spells, doing rituals, he's conducting an experiment in which he will get a response, right? Hoping to get a response. And again, as Christians, we understand that response is a physical manifestation from a spiritual being. And so thus we do understand that in certain limited ways, the demonic realm can interact with the 3D physical universe and manifest, energy, essentially. And the more you understand about all the, various paranormal things that are all demonic deceptions, right? Whether if you understand how the UFO phenomenon, people are seeing things in the sky, that people are having abduction experiences, whatever. These are energy manifestations in the physical realm from the spiritual realm. People who get into ghost hunting and paranormal research, and they go out and they're actually looking for things like electromagnetic fields and sounds and so on. Physical manifestations of what they believe are deceased spirits, or, psychic impressions of some past event or whatever. Or you even have things like crop circles, or government projects where they experiment with quote-unquote psychic abilities and remote viewing and things like that. All of these things that are being demonically powered and engineered, or, demonically guided. But the deception works because the humans participating believe in a false conception of what they are dealing with. So if we understand all of that put together, how crazy is it to stop and ask how difficult it would be for such entities to do things like manipulate a single quote-unquote photon in an experiment, or subatomic particles, whether it was at CERN or in any of these famous experiments that have led up to CERN, such as the extremely famous double slit experiment. How difficult would it be for these quote-unquote scientific results to be manipulated by the other side in order to supposedly confirm things like quantum entanglement and non-locality, on the quantum realm. So that now we have this debate going on. Now we have this mysticism and New Age spirituality enmeshing itself with what was previously called materialistic science, and how this atomistic worldview that was spawned by mystical spirituality is now coming full circle. It's hard to see that as a coincidence at all at this point. Anyways, that's my thoughts.
Today, science tells us that the essential nature of reality is non-local correlation. Everything is connected to everything else. That there's hidden creativity. There are quantum leaps of creativity. That there's something called the observer effect, where intention orchestrates space-time events, which we then measure as movement and motion and energy and matter. And addressing Sam, we can have a personal relationship with this intelligence, because we have a consciousness that is part of the sea of consciousness. Rumi, the great Sufi poet, said, you're not just a drop in the ocean, you're the mighty ocean in the drop. And all you have to do is understand the principles of science and understand that you have within you the resources to intuitively grasp this mystery.